anger amongst the Pompey fan base. Rich says this one, the Stoke game, is on you today, Moose. Continuing to play players out of position. Chaplin must now play as that 10. Once Murphy came on, he should have moved Yang to the right as the only other attacking threat we have. Instead, you take him off and continue to play an ineffective Chaplin there. Lots of fans are now saying Chaplin needs that 10 role. And why is Moose being stubborn? Welcome back to 20 minutes of Where Pompey Walk. Also, fans are saying Fratton Park is not scary anymore. Just what is going on at the hallowed home ground? And with it being Halloween, we're talking about Pompey horror shows this week. What's the worst you've ever sat through? Plus, we'll continue our A to Z with the letter D. Welcome back. We've got, a number of frustrated Pompey fans this week. Phil, Jake, Sasha and Sam are fresh back from watching that Stoke game and Coventry midweek as well. Phil, I'm getting a little bit worried about your side. I've got to be honest. Are you?
In the immediate aftermath of yesterday's game, I was very unhappy, and I needed a bit of time for it to calm down. Um, there's a lot to improve. Let's face it. We're not. There's a lot of things going wrong, but I saw comments like that's coming towards the end of Moose's career as our manager and rubbish like that. It's like you've got to keep it balanced. That's how I'm looking at it. There is, in fairness, criticism that Moose needs to take. I think his team selection has been wrong, his substitutions have been wrong, and he needs to own that. He's not infallible. He can't get a free shot from the fans. He's done a lot of good for us, but at the same time, we're right to call him out when it's needed. So yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, I haven't seen a lot of Moose out comments, but Jake, I have seen a lot of this Chaplin thing is now just ridiculous. I mean, another one here. George says, when Ipswich were promoted, Chaplin was the best number 10 in the league. We're playing him now right wing. He offers no threat, no creation. The decisions being made are bizarre. We've got to have another plan. It feels like we're constantly relying too much on Murphy. Stop trying to force a formation. Are these people right, Jake?
They've definitely got a point. Yesterday was a perfect opportunity to play Chaplin in the 10. Swift was out, he was suspended. So if you're not going to use Swift, give Chaplin the opportunity to play in a position that he prefers. So I don't understand the system. I think obviously he tried to put Bishop in as the 10 and put Mackenzie Kirk up top, but it didn't work. It didn't work for me. So surely you can see that after the first half, after the first 45 minutes, that we're not creating chances. We've only scored 10 goals all season, and it needed changing. He just didn't do it, so it baffled me.
Yeah, and he's becoming the scapegoat, Sasha, a little bit now as well online. James says nothing going forward. How has Chaplin seen 90 minutes there? He's been dreadful every game now since he's been back, and yeah, not lots of love for Conor at the moment.
No, and I do think a lot of it is because he's being played out of position. I've said it before, we know Chaplin's a very good player and he's got a lot of skills and lots of positive attributes. But if we're playing him in the wrong position, we're effectively wasting his talent. It's just not working out. And it's been like that every single game. And I'm sure Mousinho is aware of it, but why he's not, shifting him into the middle just behind the striker, I do not know. But I promise you, the second we see that change, we'll see an improvement.
Yeah, I think lots of people agree with that. The other one which people are getting on his back about, Sam, is this one as well. You've got to question Mousinho's decision making, the fact that he will not drop Bishop. Kirk is much more of an attacking threat and looks lively, and Bishop's taking up CM's spot that you could put Chaplin in, who would work perfectly with Kirk. Do you agree with that?
I think you have to start to agree with it. Well, not whether I fully agree with it, but Sasha brought up in our group chat, I think Chaplin's gone 6 games now without registering a shot on target, which is, for a striker, that's absolutely atrocious. So yeah, I think you have to start to agree with it now and start to actually look into it and say, okay, do we need a change up front? Does Bishop need a rest? I just keep going back to the fact of why did we bring Chaplin in if we're not going to play him in the position that's naturally suited to him? It's just mind-boggling, and something needs to happen. We need to freshen up the squad. We need to rotate some players around or something like that, because what we're doing right now is dreadful. But we're still above Scummers, so that's all right.
Yeah, there's always a positive. Yeah, Phil. Some people are saying, how can we just revert to how we were playing last season? Why can't we do that?
Yeah, it sounds easy, doesn't it? I'm starting to think, obviously, we've spoken about how we're a bit reliant on Murphy. That has to come into play. Callum Lang as well. I've started to realise just how much we've missed him, his energy. I think the one thing for me that is missing completely from last year is the press, or lack of press this year. I think Callum Lang would have been a big part of that. I thought, in fairness, when Segacic was playing, I thought he was taking on the Callum Lang role quite well, but I don't think anyone quite does it like him. So yeah, we're missing quite a lot, unfortunately, and it's just not quite clicking. And I think again, Mousinho's stubbornness is what I'll call it. He keeps trying to stick with the same players, and for me it's a case of square pegs and round holes.
Yeah.
It's basics. Don't put Chaplin on the right wing. We've tried it. I know he's done it for a reason, because we're short. We've got injuries there, but yeah, there's got to be a better solution. Sorry.
There's a tweet here, Jack. I'm not going to read all of it out because it's mainly about the Eisners and investment, which is something we spoke about last week. But within here it says, we don't have a striker good enough for this level. Realistically, with Conor out, our defence is a huge liability. I think Project Australia needs to be shelved, as well, as none of the signings have really worked out, or they're made of glass. What do you make of that statement?
Again, I've got a point. Obviously, Matthews has come in and he's been injured. We paid over £1 million for him. Scored for Stoke yesterday, which wasn't ideal.
Great goal.
But yeah, he's played 5 games for us, and we've lost all 5. I'm not just putting it on him, by the way, but that's not a stat that he'll want to know about. But yeah, Segacic obviously out injured as well. Jacob Farrell we brought in, barely seen him. So yeah, obviously whoever's doing the scouting out in Australia can see the talent, but hasn't looked at their injury record.
The other one I want to mention, Sasha, which you might all disagree with, is this one. Fratton ain't scary to come to this season. And when you look at it, obviously Stoke lost there last year. Coventry lost there last year heavily as well. Sheffield Wednesday's only win this season has come at Fratton. What's going on?
I don't know. I think people have got a bit too comfortable with the idea of we're really good at home, we're going to win at home, we're not going to lose at home. Fratton Park has been a very different atmosphere for all the wrong reasons this season. I mean, it's at some points it's been quite pathetic, in all honesty, in my opinion. I thought it's been quite terrible. There's not been a single good atmosphere, arguably, apart from Middlesbrough, but that's because we beat the Giants, the team that couldn't lose. Other than that, it's been awful. By the 86th minute against Coventry, the ground was empty. Like, everyone missed our goal. And it's just, I understand people have their reasons for leaving and not chanting or whatever, but, the reason we stayed up last season was because of that home form. And if we're all going to slack and, turn it into a playground for other teams, it's no longer a fortress. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I think we've been found out at home as well. I think last year teams were playing it around the back and we were pressing so high and winning the ball up that top end of the pitch and creating chances. And teams just aren't doing it now. They're missing out that press and clipping it longer. So I think we have been found out a little bit, and there's no plan B.
We got a bit of second season syndrome, Phil, going on. I mean, last year against that Leeds game, I remember, was just the volume of noise that carried that second half through to that victory against Leeds, and we got a little bit of kind of, we're here. Like Sasha says, it's a little bit of we expect
complacency. Yeah, no, I agree with what Sasha said, and I've been thinking about, you've touched on it as well, the results that we've had so far at home. compared to last season is a complete reverse. So although we're way better, well, we're better off than we were this time last year. I mean, we couldn't win for Toffee at the start of last year, but obviously that was because we had quite a difficult set of fixtures at the start. But I'm worried a little bit just from the point of view that the teams we've lost to, we were beaten at home last year, and it's a little concerning, to be honest. And like I say, out of two teams, Norwich and Sheffield Wednesday, can't win as well, but they can beat us, So yeah.
Sam, what does he need to do then against Birmingham in terms of his starting 11?
Well, play Chaplin at number 10. I think we can all agree on that. And I think going back to what Jake said, put that press in. That press is lacking, and we need to step up and really start getting the crowd into the game. I mean, right from the get-go, if we start pressing, the crowd knows that we're up for it. It's just like, I feel like we've started games at home and it's just been so lackadaisical, and it's been like, oh yeah, we'll just pass it around at the back for 10 minutes just to get our feet warmed up, and then we'll just go. And that's not how we should be starting home games. The atmosphere at the start of a game, from what I remember and from what I've seen on television, is always like, yeah, let's go, come on. And it's just not there when we settle in and just pass it around at the back. So I think pressing, getting a tackle in, and just really going right from the get-go is what's going to get the crowd into the game.
I just want to add, I think the reason that we're not pressing as much as we have last season is because we don't have Matt Ritchie. That man single-handedly, you could hear him shouting at every single player on the pitch, press, 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 push, 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 constantly. And he kind of forced the team to press, and we don't have him anymore. And you can see a night and day difference.
Let's get him on the phone, JK, and
I'll have a word to get him back, yeah.
Right, before we move on, if you're just coming across this Pompey channel, we know there's loads of other good ones as well. This is 20 minutes a week where we just, it's not all doom and gloom, we do have a laugh as well. But yeah, press like and subscribe, please, to help us grow. We're into October, into November by the time we play Birmingham, Phil, so we're looking for the October player of the month, please, if that's okay.
God, feels like a tough pick just now, doesn't it? Probably... There's a couple spring to mind. I think Regan Paul has been outstanding in defence. Yang Min Hook has been good on the left wing in the absence of Murphy. But I'm going to suggest Jordan Williams. I just don't think he gets enough love from the Pompey fans, and I think he's a great right back. But for whatever reason, there's a lot of negativity around him. But I think he's done outstanding.
Sam?
I'll go Yang Min Hook. Last couple of performances that he's had have been outstanding, and he reminds me of a young Hong Min Sun. So yeah, I'll go him.
Sasha?
Yeah, I agree with Sam. Yang was someone I criticised at the start of the season, and he's been brilliant for the last few games. So Yang for me.
Jake?
I'll go Bursic. I think when Schmidt got injured, we brought Killip on against them up the road, and I thought that he was going to be our number one, but Bursic's come in and against Middlesbrough played really well, and a few away games, Leicester as well, he played really well, so I'll give him a shout out.
Can I just make a point about Bursic? Sorry, it's been bothering me the last few games. Everyone got on the back of Killip because of his distribution, but you cannot tell me that Bursic's distribution is good. I'm sorry, he's a good goalkeeper from his stopping ability, but his distribution, for me, from what I'm seeing, is just as bad as Killip. I'm not saying that Killip should replace him, but I think fans have got some blue-tinted specs on.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. Cheers, cheers for all of you. Before we get to Birmingham, it turns Halloween, of course, on Friday, so that always brings at this time of year. We ask for your horror stories of watching Pompey. What's the lowest you've ever experienced in a Pompey game? Now, the rules here is you have to have been there live. It's not something you've watched on TV. Who wants to get this off? Sasha, what's your worst time watching Pompey?
Oh, there've been quite a few. I don't know. a few that spring to mind is
come back to you.
Yeah, come back to me. Come back to
Okay,
me.
let's go Jake first. It looks like you look poised, ready to talk about.
Oh, I'm ready. Yeah. I'll take you back to January 2002 when I was 12 years old, and we played Leyton Orient in a cup. We were first division, and they were third division at the time. And we had Yoshi Kawaguchi in goal after spending over £1 million on him, and they beat us 4-1. Absolutely battered us. So that is, that's the absolute horror show it was.
Phil, can you beat that?
Yeah, I thought of that one, but another FA Cup one that was probably even worse was 2014. We had Aldershot at home, managed to draw 2-2 in the cup, and then went there in the replay and got beaten 1-0, and it was just dreadful. Oh my god! I mean, we weren't good at the time. We were obviously slipping down. We'd gone down to League Two, but that's the first time we'd ever been beaten by a non-league team in the cup, and it was painful.
Sam?
It was probably when we were in the Premier League and we played Arsenal on Boxing Day, and I think we lost 6-1. That was pretty bad, and we played pretty terrible.
And Sasha?
I was going to say when we lost to Torquay at home in League Two. That's one that sticks in my mind. But I'm actually going to say when we lost 4-0 to Ipswich at Fratton Park back when we were in League One, because the ground was empty by the end, and I just remember thinking to myself, we are going to become a League One club for the rest of my life. Thankfully, it's not gone that way, but that is one low that sticks in my mind.
Okay, good shout. So, of course, in the comments, let us know your personal horror story of watching Portsmouth FC. Finally, this week, Glenn, we're up to the letter D. I'm interested for next week whether we're going to go with Eisner's next week, but we'll think about that when we get to it. This fella got a shout from AI for the letter D. I wonder if you can do any better than Sean Davis. Let's find out. Who should we go to first? Who do we always? I forget the order we go to. I think Jake now gets first. Go on, Jake.
Oh, this is an easy one for me. I will give Lasana Diarra and Sylvain Distin a shout, because if I was doing my all-time Pompey 11, both of them would be in it. But for me, it's got to be Jimmy Dickinson. Over 800 appearances for Pompey, 48 caps for England. Never booked, never sent off. So everyone called him Gentleman Jim, but he's got stature at the ground, his face in the Fratton end, and just growing up being a Pompey fan, my family always just said about how much of a legend he was. Jimmy Dickinson for me.
Phil?
Yeah, absolutely. Also got an MBE for football services, back-to-back Division 1 champions, 48-49. So, yeah, went on to manage Pompey as well. He did everything. There's nothing that he couldn't do. So, yeah, there's no one that can be in this apart from Jimmy Dickinson. But I was going to mention Lasana Diarra as well. One of the older ones as well, a bit closer to my ear, is Kevin Dillon, goal-scorer midfielder. Great penalty taker, good midfielder. So yeah, Kevin Dillon, but Jimmy all the way.
Okay, Sam.
Jimmy Dickinson's great shout, and probably should pick that one, but I'm going to pick D'Alessandro, who is one of Harry's bargains. I actually think we got him on loan for our season in the Great Escape season. So yeah, D'Alessandro for me, but Jimmy Dickinson's also should be there.
We could have a whole team of. We can make a whole team, couldn't we? Here, yeah. Sasha.
Yeah, it's got to be Jim and Dickinson for the same reason Jake and Phil mentioned.
Okay. Right then. You've had it easy, haven't you, so far? A, B, C, D. You've not struggled with this at all. I think next week they're going to with the letter E. So
someone last week put Crouchy in the comments, and I was so disappointed we did not say Crouchy for last week.
Oh yeah, so just mentioned that. Yeah. So we go to E next week. Join us for that. And of course, a trip to Birmingham City, as well as Pompey. Go to Hollywood. We'll see you for that. Catch you next week. Thanks for watching.